Have you ever felt utterly lost? Not just unsure of your path, but lost within yourself. Like a tiny speck of dust, adrift in a vast, cold universe. I've seen that look in the eyes of many. A quiet desperation. A feeling that no matter how hard you try, you're just falling. I want to tell you a story. It's not a story from this earth, not exactly. It's a story whispered across the cosmos, a tale of a pilot named Elara and a journey into the heart of a black hole. Elara wasn't searching for glory or discovery. She was running from a grief so profound it had hollowed her out. Her home, a small colony on Kepler 186f, had been ravaged by a solar flare. Everyone she loved, gone. She'd salvaged a small scout ship, the Starling, and taken a one-way ticket towards the unknown, hoping to outrun the ache in her soul. She drifted for years, taking odd jobs hauling cargo, charting nebulas, anything to keep moving. But the emptiness followed her. It clung to the Starling like space dust. Then she received a coded message, a distress signal originating from the edge of the Cygnus X1 system, a system known for one thing, a supermassive black hole. Most pilots wouldn't go near it. It was considered a suicide mission. But Elara, she didn't much care about living or dying anymore. She set a course for Cygnus X1. As she approached, the distortions began. Space itself seemed to bend and warp around the black hole's gravity. The stars stretched into long, eerie lines. The ship groaned under the strain. She contacted the source of the signal, a research station, observation point, orbiting precariously close to the event horizon. Starling, this is observation point. We're losing power. Systems failing. We need immediate assistance. The voice was crackled and weak, belonging to a scientist named Dr. Aris Thorn. "I'm here, Doctor," Elara replied, her voice surprisingly steady. "What's the situation?" "We were studying the black hole, attempting to understand what happens inside. We deployed a probe. It sent back data, incredible data, but it also triggered a cascade failure. We have minimal life support. And something else. Something we didn't expect." Elara docked with the station, a skeletal structure of metal and flickering lights. The atmosphere inside was thick with tension and the smell of burning circuits. Dr. Thorn, a man with haunted eyes and a wild beard, met her at the airlock. "You shouldn't have come," he said, his voice raspy. "It's a trap. This black hole, it's not just a destroyer. It's a mirror." "A mirror?" Elara asked, confused. "The probe, it didn't just send back data about the black hole's interior. It sent back reflections. Reflections of our deepest fears, our regrets, our traumas. The black hole amplifies them, projects them into reality. We're being haunted by our own demons." Elara dismissed it as stress-induced delusion. She focused on repairing the station's life support systems. But as she worked, she began to experience things. Whispers in the corridors, shadows that moved on their own, and then the visions. She saw her home, Kepler 186f, not as it was before the flare, but as it was during. The searing heat, the panicked screams, the faces of her loved ones consumed by fire. It was unbearable. She stumbled back, clutching her head. "It's showing you what you're trying to escape," Dr. Thorn said, watching her with a grim expression. "The black hole doesn't create the horror. It reveals it." Elara wanted to run, to abandon the station and flee back into the void. But she couldn't. Not with Dr. Thorn and the remaining crew trapped here. She realized that running hadn't solved anything. The grief had just followed her, growing stronger with each passing year. She confronted the visions, forcing herself to relive the memories, not as a victim, but as a witness. She remembered the laughter, the love, the simple joys of life on Kepler 186f. She remembered her mother's warm embrace, her father's silly jokes, her sister's unwavering support. And then something shifted. The horror didn't disappear, but it lost its power. It became a memory. A painful one, yes, but a memory nonetheless. A part of her story, not the entirety of it. She helped Dr. Thorn stabilize the station, using her skills to reroute power and repair the damaged systems. As they worked, she learned more about his own demons. He'd lost his family to a rare genetic disease and had dedicated his life to science, hoping to find a cure. But his research had become an obsession, blinding him to the needs of those around him. The black hole had forced him to confront his own selfishness. Finally, they managed to restore enough power to send out a distress signal. A rescue ship arrived days later, pulling them from the brink of destruction. As Alara prepared to leave observation point, she turned to Dr. Thorne. "You said the black hole was a mirror," she said. "But it's more than that, isn't it? It's a forge." Dr. Thorne nodded slowly. "It breaks you down, strips you bare, but in the process, it forces you to rebuild yourself, to confront your darkness and find the strength to carry on." Alara didn't return to a life of drifting. She used her experience to help others, becoming a counselor for those who had suffered loss. She found a new purpose, a new home, not in a place but within herself. Now, you might be wondering what this story has to do with you. You're not a space pilot, you're not orbiting a black hole, but you have faced your own darkness. You have experienced loss, regret, and fear. And you too have a black hole within you, a place where your deepest wounds reside. The truth is, we all carry our own personal black holes. We try to avoid them, to bury them deep inside. But they're always there, exerting their gravitational pull, threatening to consume us. The key isn't to escape the black hole, but to enter it. To confront your demons, to acknowledge your pain, to accept your past. It will be terrifying. It will be painful. But on the other side lies healing, lies strength, lies a profound sense of peace. Alara found her way home, not by running from her grief, but by walking through it. She discovered that home isn't a place on a map, it's a state of being. It's the acceptance of who you are, flaws and all. It's the courage to face your darkness and emerge stronger on the other side. And you, my friend, have that same courage within you. Even in the darkest of times, even when you feel utterly lost, remember this: you are not alone. And even in darkness, you are home. You always have been, you always will be. The universe within you is vast and resilient.